they gave us their wisdom from the ages, which is the truth of life and how life reveals itself to us.
Well, I think a lot of the tools that we've been given have been forgotten. It's hard for me to name them as a person living in this day and age, but I think reflection and connection with, the elements, the plants, and the winged ones, and the ones that walk on the ground, and the sun and the earth. And paying attention, observation, meditation, those ways of slowing down who you are to be with what is.
I mean, it's good to know where I'm coming from and also where some of my peers are coming from, because it gives me more of an understanding of who I am and where I come from in general. Not only from here and up, but also past generations, being able to really connect back to where I am from.
Actually, it really makes me excited. I feel proud. And at the same time, I also feel irritated and annoyed, because we've done so much in history. We've done so much for history, and then people just don't acknowledge it. You know what I'm saying? But the more and more I find out, I feel empowered. I can do, and that's what I'm trying to get most of my people to do.
Learning about African American culture is real interesting. It excites me to really know what I'm comprised of and where I come from, what my background is, And for a lot of us as black people, we don't really know what our background is. Our background is kind of what we see, on TV, and that's kind of what we adopt, and that's not necessarily, who we are. It's just what we've become.
I think some of the basic tools really is just humility, love, a sense of togetherness. I think our ancestors knew that in order for us to move forward, we had to work together. And I think we kind of lost that. I know even myself, I struggle with, connecting with other folks and coming outside of my own box. Being born and raised here in the States, everything's very individualistic, very materialistic. So I think just really getting back to the essence of what has value, what holds value, and that's, relationships, water, trees, land, I think that's really what the ancestors, in my opinion, wanted us to carry forward.
I think one of the major components of health and wellness in our community is to remember what got us to this point, and that is loving and caring about one another in the community. There's so much violence now among our youth, and we've always thought of ourselves in community, and we cared about the community, the elders. That's how we made it through the experience that we've had since being kidnapped from our homeland and enslaved here in America.
For me, it would be through the food that we eat. I think our wellness, the food that is being constructed now, has a great impact on people's ability to cope. And when we eat food from the earth, it somehow, and I haven't figured out on more the spiritual level, but on the biological level, it has the ability to keep us light.
Where? Look around, dude.
We're on the
You're
earth.
on it.
Remember,
You're on
buddy?
her. She's holding you.
Where?
Yeah?
Right here.
Definitely have some challenges within our communities around our health, mental, emotional, spiritual health, and I think some of the pieces I think that are most critical are just around self-love. Like when we have enough love for ourselves and we're able to change realities, make different choices, make plans and stick to those plans.
I think this whole movement towards trauma-informed care is very important, because when I look at African American folks here, we've experienced a lot of racially based trauma. and not ever really had a meaningful way that we could say, look at how this has impacted our mental health. I mean, we knew that, but as far as, maybe the mental health system began to grab that it's important that we address some of those things that are handed down intergenerational. So I think really understanding what does it mean to do trauma-informed care.
In being creative, it's a self-expression, and you have to be connected with yourself. You have to be connected with something around you in order to express yourself.
Future now retro, and at the same damn time you mind your mind to pay the fine.
I think the message for the youth really is just knowledge yourself, know who you are, you know what I mean? Because if you know who you are, then no one can really tell you who you are. You know, you're gonna know who you
get
are.
back to the basics of human interaction, putting the iPod, the iPad, the iPhone down, and getting back to the basics of having human interaction.
I think it's
with each
important
other.
for the young people to understand what love looks like too. There's so much of what we have had to do as a survival mechanism that it didn't really give us a chance to cultivate that love for each other. And I think that's part of the revolution that I see happening right now.
Love yourself. Realize that you are a divine messenger and that you're here to teach and be a transmission, an agent of change, an opportunity for growth, that no one can define you but you.
You gotta have another plan, another focus of another direction. It's okay not to go in that direction, but now you need to know what direction I am gonna go in. That's gonna let all the best of you be seen, so that they can see the real you, not from just the physical, but from the elevation of your true spirit of positiveness in the world.